I'm a Japanese guy in my 50s. But you might say, so what? Yes, the world doesn't care about my age and my life at all. Meanwhile, I can't say I will do what I like no matter what the world is coming to. War, especially nuclear warfare. This is the worst case scenario that currently I can think of in my life because it is said that a nuclear war cannot be won. As a person who wishing to start a second life abroad, it is very important for me to know the potential risk of my favorite countries getting out of control to threaten other countries. Let's take Malaysia for example. Malaysia is a country with much smaller population than Russia, but interestingly, the both per capita income are almost the same. So, I thought that you could find out more about Malaysia by comparing with Russia because you could see how the budget was used differently by dividing by the population ratio. This is a list of countries where have nuclear warheads. Russia is the possessor of the world's largest nuclear arsenal at 6,000 warheads. The method of my simulation today is that you can divide this figure by the population ratio of Malaysia and Russia like this. And now you can see if Malaysia wished to be a country like Russia, it means that Malaysia owns over 1,300 nuclear warheads and results in the third largest possessor. Meanwhile, as I said, a nuclear war cannot be won. Possessing a nuclear weapon would entail inevitable risk of counterattack by nuclear once war was waged. Next, let's see how KL or Klang Valley would be damaged by counterattack of nuclear weapon through the website called Outrider. 3 types of bombs are assumed to be hit by airbursts respectively. In this simulation, the hypocenter is set above Creole City Mall, Kuala Lumpur. Let's get started.
Malaysian dream, lost in Hokkaido.
Case 1 little boy. This is the first bomb used in war in Hiroshima, Japan. If this bomb was exploded above KL, the hit would describe a circle with a radius of 1.8 km including Chokit and Kampang Baru. According to the simulation, the fatalities amount to around 130,000 with 300,000 injuries. But this is a bomb used over 70 years ago. Today's bomb is much more destructive. Let's see the case 2. North Korean H-bomb is the largest bomb developed in this country. Once this bomb went off here, what would happen? The damage is more terrible. The hit would describe a circle with a radius of 6.5 km including Damansara Heights and Bukit Pantai. And the number of fatalities amount to around 460,000 with almost 1 million injuries. And lastly, I have to tell you about among the most dreadful scenario. Tsari Bomba. This stands for the Emperor of Bomb in Russian, and it is the largest USSR detonated bomb, and literally the most devastating weapon in human history. If this emperor hit Klang Valley, the hit is estimated to reach a circle with a radius of whopping 60 kilometers involving Port Klang, Kuala Kurawam, and Kuala Kubu Baharu. The total 5 million casualty is equivalent to the whole population of Hokkaido. The country attempt to use weapon of mass destruction needs to understand first the principle of an eye for an eye. That's why a nuclear war cannot be won.
Malaysian dream, lost in Hokkaido.
So, it is not a smart move to think of nuclear weapon further in this video. Okay, let's narrow down to the issue of conventional weapons next. For your reference, currently, military strength of Malaysia ranks 48th in the world. Along with over 100,000 soldiers, Malaysia has the following numbers of fighter aircraft, combat vehicles, and naval vessels. On the other hand, Russian military is the second place in the world with huge numbers of conventional weapons. But here, to make a fair comparison of two nations, I will divide their figures by their population ratio. As a result, Russia still keeps twice as much as Malaysian soldiers, 5 times of fighters, whopping 39 times of tanks, and twice of warships. This is simply because Russia's defense expenditure is out of proportion in terms of global standards. This comparison says it all. In fact, Russia spends 24% of national budget on defense and national security, while Malaysia does only 2%. This Russian percentage is larger than Malaysia's sum of defense, social, retirement charge, and social assistance. To put it another way, the Malaysian government spends more on enhancing the people's quality of life. Finally, you can reconfirm my viewpoint objectively from the comparison chart of ASEAN nations. Malaysia ranked 5th in GDP within the region, but its ranking of military strength is slightly lower at 6th. In conclusion, in my view, Malaysia remains on the right track as a mature democracy under civilian control. That's all. Thanks for watching.